Yes, people, however, we're all doing. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel, where it is time for match week 5 of the 21-22 UEFA Champions League group stage. Yes, this is where basically you can either qualify or they get knocked out. It is that simple as well. But let's have a quick look at how everyone did in Matchday 4. I got 16 points. I was very, very happy with my score. With that being said, I got 2 perfect scores. I got AC Milan 1, Porto 1 correct, and I also got Villarreal to beat Young Boys by 2-0 as well. Top scorer in the comments was Chris Welsh, and Chris Welsh managed to get 19 points, including a lot of perfect scores as well. So very, very well done to Chris Welsh as well. But we move on to match week 5. Or match day 5, whichever you prefer. Anyway, so the first game to preview and predict comes from Group E, and it is Dynamo Kiev against Bayern Munich. Obviously, Dynamo Kiev cannot qualify now. They are kind of playing for that, Europa League spot. That is by, obviously, Benfica at this moment in time. But you look at Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich will probably want to make it, 6 wins from 6. I think they'll be too strong for Dynamo Kiev. I really, really do. I think they'll have too much for Dynamo Kiev. However, they did go on to lose 2-1 against Augsburg in the Bundesliga. So you can quite clearly see that shock results do happen. Do I think Kiev are going to beat Bayern Munich? I don't honestly think they're going to. If I'm being totally honest, I just do not see it at all. I am going to go for a 3-0 win to Bayern Munich. I just think that Bayern Munich will have too much for Dynamo Kiev. And now we move into Group F, and this is a huge game as far as first and second is concerned. Villarreal against Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United getting that 2-2 draw with Atalanta. Villarreal winning by 2-0 against Young Boys as well. So this is a huge, huge game as far as obviously whoever finishes first and second, as I've said. Villarreal, they're not going very, very well in La Liga, but I think they managed to win 3-0 against Celta Vigo, the previous game there. So very, very well done. Manchester United, well, it's all changed in Manchester United. They have sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after a 4-1 defeat to Watford. And look, whoever was going to be in charge of Manchester United, I honestly had a feeling that whoever was in charge, this is a big, big game. Manchester United don't travel well in Europe anyway. We all know that anyway. So now the kind of tables are turned. We don't know which Manchester United are going to turn up, and we don't know which Manchester United is actually going to play. Is it the one that's going to, get absolutely smashed by Liverpool, by Manchester City, by Watford, or is it the Manchester United that's going to go to Spurs and win by 3-0? We just don't know. And as far as, looking at this as well, this is going to be very, very intriguing game, because you look at it, and Villarreal, for me, if they were to win this game, it puts the cat amongst the pigeons as well, because you look at the group, as a whole. Manchester United are top at this moment in time, but if Villarreal were to win it as well, it sets up a grandstand finish as well. And with Villarreal and Atalanta playing each other, Manchester United playing Young Boys at Old Trafford, it could get very, very interesting as well. What do I see this going? I am going to go for a Villarreal win. I think Villarreal will just have too much for Manchester United. I am going to go for a 2-1 win to Villarreal in this one. And in the other game, it's Young Boys against Atalanta. Like, I think it's safe to say Young Boys are still within a little bit of a hope of going through to the next round. But they are running out of time. However, Atalanta, I know people are saying that Atalanta don't really travel too well as well. They seem to be, the Italian Leeds, I think, is someone quite clearly read the other day, but you look at the way that Atalanta played against Manchester United, and to be 2-0 up, which was very, very good for them, and then just very, very disappointing. Very, very 1-1, and then obviously 2-1 in front. You would have thought that they would have seen that out, but Cristiano Ronaldo being what Cristiano does, and it was a very, very good goal as well. So I am going to go for a 2-0 win to Atalanta. And what that would stand is that obviously Villarreal would move on to 10 points. Atalanta would move on to 8 points. Manchester United would be still on 7 points, and then Young Boys would be obviously knocked out with 3 points, and then it sets up a grandstand finish for that final game as well. I don't think Manchester United fans wanted to be in this position, but you obviously are as well. So we move on to the Group E, and the other game is Barcelona against Benfica. Again, this is a big game for both sides. Benfica, they are still not out of it quite recently, but a win for Barcelona would obviously guarantee them qualification to the next stage. Look, they ain't going to win the group. They're not going to win the group. I think Bayern Munich are going to win the group there. But Xavi, 5 out of the Barcelona side were very experienced. The other 6 were actually youngsters from La Masia as well. Look, Benfica have done okay. They've done very well. To get a 3-0 win against Barcelona was very good. I just don't see it happening again for Benfica. So I'm going to say that Barcelona will go through as runners-up in this group. I'm going Barcelona 2, Benfica 0. And now Group H, and this is a big game, this one, because this is Chelsea against Juventus. And you have to say, Chelsea narrowly won by 1-0 against Malmo. That was a tough game for them, because Malmo did actually pose a lot of problems for Chelsea. Juventus won by 4-2 against Zenit. Juventus are on 12 points, Chelsea on 9 points, so Zenit on 3, so Zenit cannot qualify as it stands. So it's probably got a draw written all over it, because it would suit Juventus, because it would win them. It would obviously win them it wouldn't win them the group ever so slightly, but with Chelsea playing Zenit on the final day, with Juventus playing Malmo, you'd probably say that Juventus are probably going to win the group anyway. So I just have a feeling that this is going to be a score draw in this game. I think Chelsea will be determined to get a draw, determined to get a win to get above Juventus, but it's a very tricky game to predict. But I am going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think both sides will play out a draw, and I do think that would be enough for both Juventus and Chelsea to qualify, because we've not seen the gold for saying that they've qualified yet, but I think a draw would guarantee Chelsea's progress anyway. So no matter what Zenit Petersburg do in Malmo, Chelsea are through to the next round. 1-1 draw between the sides. And now we have Lille against RB Salzburg, and this group is on a knife edge. Salzburg lead 7 points, Lille 5 points, Wolfsburg 5 points, and Sevilla on 3 points. Very difficult. very difficult. I mean, we might actually have a similar scenario to the Manchester United group, but this could be decided on the final day, with all 4 clubs still in with a chance of actually going through as well. It's absolutely incredible. But RB Salzburg with a win would go through to the next round with a win against Lille. And look, RB Salzburg, Adeyemi has been fantastic in this Champions League. I'm going to go for RB Salzburg to win 2-0 against Lille, and that would guarantee them qualification to the next round of the Champions League. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, I think that would be their first time through the group stage. I could be wrong there. But someone in the comments obviously let me know. But I can't remember RB Salzburg going through a qualification group before. So good luck to them, but I think that they will win by 2-0. Now, this is only a game for basically Europa League, in my opinion. Malmo against Zenit St. Petersburg. Malmo did make it very difficult for Chelsea. Zenit didn't travel very well against Juventus, 4-2 in the end. But with that being said, I fancy Zenit to beat Malmo, and I think Zenit will guarantee a Europa League spot with this win. I am going to go for a 2-0 win to Zenit St. Petersburg. And the other game in Group G is Sevilla against Wolfsburg. This is a huge game, because Sevilla somehow somehow managed to lose 2-1 to Lille in Spain as well. And Julian Lopetegui is actually one of those candidates who's actually been touted for the Manchester United job. Someone explain to me why. Someone explain to me why. That is just absolutely ridiculous. How he is being touted. He will always be remembered for walking out on Spain in the World Cup to go to Real Madrid. And look how that ended. Sacked by Real Madrid. Unlucky. But looking at Wolfsburg, 2-2 with Arminia Bielefeld at the weekend. Disappointing result for them. But Wolfsburg have actually looked a lot better under their new manager than they did under Mark van Bommel. So with that being said, Wolfsburg could climb from third to second, and that could be absolutely crucial as well. So I am going to go Sevilla 1, Wolfsburg 2. So that would leave the table. That would lead the table on RB Salzburg on 10 points, Wolfsburg on 8, Lille on 5, and then Sevilla on 3. And Sevilla would actually still, they wouldn't have a chance. They wouldn't have a chance to qualify. So this is a huge game. So I'm going to say, with a shock, Sevilla are going out of the Champions League. So I'm going Sevilla 1, Wolfsburg 2. So we move on to the Wednesday games now. And this is another game where you'd have to say that obviously Ajax have won, the group. Besiktas have got 0 points. So not much for them to play for unless they win their next 2 games. And unless Sporting somehow have a monumental collapse. With that being said, Besiktas, Ajax were absolutely fantastic against Borussia Dortmund the other day. Very, very good performance from Ajax. Yes, we did see a very, very debatable red card from Mats Hummels, given to by Michael Oliver, an English ref. You can understand why the English refs are not very, very good, can't you? But I was very, very impressed with the way Ajax played. Besiktas got absolutely gobbed by 4-0 against Sporting CP. They just want this Champions League, campaign over. And I think Ajax will go to Turkey, and I think they will absolutely batter Besiktas. I think Sebastian Haller has been fantastic, and I'm going to say that he will grab a couple of goals in this one. Besiktas 0, Ajax 4. I'm going to go for a 4-0 win to Ajax. And now a big game involving Inter Milan and Shakhtar. And again, this group is not quite straightforward either. Look, Inter Milan, they did have a very good victory against FC Sheriff in the last game, a 3-1 win over Sheriff. I think you have to say the kind of fairy tale story is kind of coming to an end for Sheriff, but you'd have to say Shakhtar have not done very well in this Champions League group at all. 1 point. I mean, you know, barring a monumental collapse from Sheriff and barring an absolute miracle of a comeback from Shakhtar, they are out of the Champions League. So I think Inter Milan will win by 2-0. I'm going to go for it. Inter Milan 2, Shakhtar 0. And a huge game in Group B. It is Atletico Madrid against AC Milan. Obviously, Atletico Madrid lost by 2-0 against Liverpool. AC Milan drew 1-1 with FC Porto. And look, Atletico Madrid, as it stands, they are sitting third in the group. Porto have 5 points, but Porto are going to Liverpool this week as well. So you'd have to say, with a win, Atletico Madrid are in the driving seat. But the thing is, Atletico Madrid-Porto, that is going to be a huge game. So no matter what Atletico Madrid do in this game, it kind of depends on what Liverpool do against Porto. And then you've got a grandstand finish between Atletico Madrid and Porto. And also it's in Porto. That's a big, big bonus for them as well. So looking at this, AC Milan, I'm afraid, I think your time in the Champions League is coming to an end. And unfortunately, I think Madrid will just narrowly get a win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Atletico Madrid. Look, it's not the best of football to watch, but getting the result, grinding out a result, I think Atletico Madrid are very, very good at doing that. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Atletico Madrid. And now we have in Manchester City's group Club Brugge against RB Leipzig. A win for Bruges, and it would obviously knock out RB Leipzig. A win for Leipzig, and again, it would probably be just not enough because looking at, both Manchester City and PSG are both through. It's just a case of who wins the group and obviously who, gets second in this group. So it's all about Europa League between these two. Look, Club Brugge, they did win 2-1 against Leipzig in Germany. Leipzig managed to get a 2-2 with PSG in the last game. I think roles will be reversed. I fully expect Leipzig to go to Club Brugge and win and get their Europa League hopes back on track as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to RB Leipzig. And now we have Liverpool against FC Porto. Liverpool already through to the round of 16. Group winners as well. So very, very well done to Jurgen Klopp's side. FC Porto, this game is going to be very, very interesting as well. I look at this game and Porto will need to get a result. They'll need to attack Liverpool. Liverpool can just obviously sit back and probably counter them on the counter attack. And in my opinion, I just think Porto will leave too much gaps open for Liverpool. No matter what team Liverpool play, I fully expect Liverpool to win this game. And I think it goes to that grandstand finish in El Dragao in next 2 weeks' time. That's a big, big game, that one. So Liverpool-Porto, I'm going to go for a 4-1 win to Liverpool. I just think Liverpool will be too strong. Whoever they play, I just think they'll be too strong for FC Porto. And a huge game between Manchester City and PSG. This is obviously to determine who wins the group. Both are already through. It doesn't matter what... if Club Brugge were to beat Leipzig, then it would be a different matter because with obviously PSG on 8 points, City on 9 points. It should be very, very interesting. But Man City, PSG have already beaten Manchester City. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. I think there'll be goals. I think both sides will attack each other, and I can see a few defensive mistakes. I could also see a potential red card as well. Obviously, Angel Di Maria is obviously on his return to Manchester. He'll get booed throughout as well. Can Lionel Messi score in Manchester as well? That could be very, very interesting. But I look at this game, and I think City, PSG, both of these sides will want to win the group, of course, but I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between the sides. And then we have Sheriff against Real Madrid. As I've just said, the fairy tale story could be coming to an end for Sheriff, unfortunately, because with Inter Milan beating Shakhtar, it would obviously say that Inter Milan would be on 10 points. And obviously, if Real Madrid get the victory, then they would be on 12 points. So, yeah, Sheriff would obviously be looking at the Europa League. But it's been a fabulous campaign for Sheriff. But I think this is the end of the road for them, unfortunately, against the Real Madrid side, who were very, very good against Shakhtar. So I'm going to say a 2-0 win to Real Madrid. Real Madrid to get revenge over Sheriff Tiraspol. And the final game of Matchday 5, it is Sporting CP against Borussia Dortmund. Very interesting because, Sporting and Dortmund are both on 6 points. Ajax are obviously far away the group winners in this one as well. But I fancy Dortmund. I think they should win this one. It was only a 1-0 victory for Dortmund the other day against Sporting as well. So I fully expect Dortmund to come back and win by 3-1. I think there will be goals in that game. They are definitely missing Erling Haaland, though. You can quite clearly see as well. But that is what I think in Matchday 5. I will go for my predictions very quickly and get yours in the comment section down below. So, Dynamo Kiev 0, Bayern Munich 3, Villarreal 2, Manchester United 1, Young Boys 0, Atalanta 2, Barcelona 2, Benfica 0, Chelsea 1, Juventus 1, Lille 0, RB Salzburg 2, Malmo 0, Zenit Petersburg 2, Sevilla 1, Wolfsburg 2, Besiktas 0, Ajax 4, Inter Milan 2, Shakhtar 0, Atletico Madrid 1, AC Milan 0, Club Brugge 0, RB Leipzig 2, Liverpool 4, FC Porto 1, Manchester City 2, PSG 2, Sheriff 0, Real Madrid 2, and Sporting 1, Borussia Dortmund 3. So that is it. That is Matchday 5 done and dusted. And obviously we will see what happens in these games. Qualifications on the line, Europa League qualifications on the line. And for some teams, obviously you've got 2 games to go until your European campaign ends as well. But a lot of action still to be played, and it should be very, very interesting indeed. But until then, it's goodbye for me. And if you do like this content, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. And yeah, we'll see. Enjoy the games, obviously. Liverpool Porto, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan. But the big game for me is Manchester City against PSG. Who is going to win? Who is going to be first? Who is going to be second? Find out on Wednesday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye bye for now.